The mayor appointed a commercial affordability advisory commission last year, which released a set of priorities that will help small business survive and grow in Seattle that includes zoning reforms, commercial affordability, incentive programs, and the creative use of public development authorities. The commission put together a report of the recommendations, and the city has not implemented any of them. What specific steps would you take to create more affordable commercial space in the city of Seattle?
So I agree. I watched that process happening. I had several friends on that committee who were very frustrated that they did all this work and came up with really good ideas, and then it got put aside and sat on the shelf. And I think we need to pull that report back out, get the group back together, and re-energize our commitment to that. And that means specifically looking at how do we fund the work, how do we integrate that work into the work plan of the Office of Economic Development, Department of Planning and Development, or Planning and Community Development, and make sure we are integrated across all departments to achieve those goals. Because you're exactly right, the $15 minimum wage was difficult for a small business to deal with, and then rising commercial rents was sort of adding insult to injury, and really it's harder and harder to run a small business in this town. So I would definitely look at all those strategies, specifically rent stabilization, and how do we make sure that we are limiting increases in rent, and also look at community benefit agreements for all future developments so that we're making sure we're preserving a commercial space affordable to small and local business, and spaces for local nonprofits and arts organizations, because we all know that's essential to building a healthy community, and if we don't make space for that, we are going to lose it.
Nothing can kill activism sometimes greater than a task force. We pull everyone together, we come up with a nice report, and then we're done. And that's what we got to change in this city. Again, it's not enough to identify the problems. We've been identifying problems in this city and a lot of issues for a long time. It's time for action. And I think one of the best things that I've been able to do during this campaign is actually walk various neighborhoods. And in each one of those neighborhoods, I try to spend time sitting down and talking to small business owners. So I've talked to small business owners in West Seattle and Capitol Hill and Rainier Beach and Columbia City and Ballard and Finney, all over the city. And I hear the same thing. You didn't need a report to figure out that the rise in commercial rents and the other regulations are hurting and killing our small businesses. And I hear over and over again, Jenny, words are cheap. What are you going to do? And so I will tell you, as mayor, I will make sure that we have right in the mayor's office someone who's looking at not just at economic vitality generally, but for small businesses specifically. And that we take not just what's in that report, but life has changed since that report. It's only gotten worse for small business. We need to identify, what's the whole regulatory burden that we're placing on small businesses that the city might be able to alleviate. You get charged for every sign over, a sidewalk fee. You can't put a sandwich board. I mean, it is ridiculous the amount of regulation. So we've got to look in totality on how the city can do better on regulating that. We need to do better on commercial affordability. So when we talk about affordability, it's just not rents and apartments. It's also for the businesses themselves. How do we make sure that we can reduce that load and help their workers? More and more small businesses are having a hard time keeping their workers because of how expensive Seattle is. And so the workers have to travel sometimes the farthest distance. It's expensive for them to get there. So we've got to come together as a city, work on these issues. Because if we don't, we're going to lose this beautiful fabric that's the favorite walking place in every neighborhood. And that is so essential to who we are. It's jobs, it's economic vitality, but it's also that richness. Everyone's got their favorite local business. Keep going there, guys. When you leave here, go to your favorite business, spend some money, and then let's work on it together.